The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Typhoon Kiko has weakened slightly and is now moving over the coastal waters of Itbayat, Batanes. With maximum sustained winds of 195 kilometers per hour near the center and gustiness of up to 240 kilometers per hour. It is moving northwestward at 15 kilometers per hour and is expected to exit the Philippine area of responsibility tomorrow evening or early Monday morning. Now, storm signal number 4 is still raised over Itbayat and northern portion of Batanes. The rest of Batanes Island is placed under signal number 3. Signal number 2 is raised over the northern portion of Babuyan Islands, which includes Panuitan and Calayan Islands. Now, signal number 1 remains hoisted over some parts of Cagayan, Apayao, and Ilocos Norte. The raft of tropical cyclones Jolina and Kiko has left parts of Luzon and Visayas devastated, with at least 14 people confirmed dead. At least 7 people are still reportedly missing and 20 have suffered injuries. NDRRMC Undersecretary Ricardo Halad reported. Now, the 2 weather disturbances have displaced 11,000 individuals from regions 4 and 8. Meanwhile, 160 areas from regions 3, 4, 6, 7, and 8 remain inundated. The NDRRMC estimated a 256 million peso worth of damages in agriculture and over 6,400 establishments partially damaged. Community quarantines will soon be replaced by granular lockdowns, with the implementation starting first in Metro Manila. So what does this mean? Let's get more details from Faith Del Mundo. She's reporting to us live from Quezon City. Faith?
Yes, Rita, by Thursday next week or September 16, Metro Manila will be under granular lockdowns as a pilot test for this new quarantine scheme. In the Laging Handa public briefing today, Interior Undersecretary Epimako Densing said that by September 16 until the end of the month, the country will no longer be using community quarantine restrictions. Densing said the CQs will instead be replaced by granular lockdowns. Metro Manila will be the pilot area for the new policy. Densing said that the ILG had a meeting with NCR barangay officials on Friday. Under the new policy, barangay officials will be recommending areas to be placed under granular lockdown and reporting this to the city or municipal government. Densing said implementation should begin within 24 hours and will run for at least 2 weeks. Under granular lockdown, no one, including outwards or authorized person outside of residence, will be allowed to go out. The only exception to this are healthcare workers, OFWs, who have scheduled flights, and those with emergencies. Densing said both the local and national government will be providing food packs for affected individuals. The official also explained that the imposition of granular lockdowns entails that community quarantines will no longer be widespread and will instead be focused on areas where COVID-19 infections are high. The health department will be identifying an area's alert level according to the number of COVID-19 cases, healthcare utilization rate, aggressive number of infections, and average daily attack rate. At alert level 4, closed places and those that are crowded and could promote close contact are prohibited by 100%. At alert level 3, 30% capacity will be allowed. At alert level 2, 50%. And at alert level 1, restrictions will be lifted, but everyone will still have to follow health protocols. Densing said granular lockdowns in Metro Manila will be at alert level 4, and officials will see if they can downgrade the status in the coming weeks. Riza Densing said that the ILG is also recommending vaccine bubbles, but will wait for the IATF's approval. Riza?
Thank you, Faith, for that report. That's Faith Del Mundo reporting live from Quezon City. Meanwhile, in Denmark, the government's engagement with the public, including on topics like sex that would have otherwise been taboo, led to its stellar COVID-19 record and protocol compliance. Now, how did the Danish government do it? More in this Bloomberg report.
We are sexual beings. Sex is healthy, sex is good. the Danish health authorities in favor of sex. And that went viral around the world. We had for a long time on our website, in our FAQ, we had a lot of good replies to people on how to have safe sex in the area of COVID-19. So that had been on our website already for a long time. I tried to check on other healthcare authorities in other countries, and I was amazed to see that virtually none of them had any advice on safe sex in the COVID-19 pandemic, which of course amazes me because sex is a human health issue. So of course we should advise on how to care for your kids, how to care for sick people, how to have sex. One thing that has certainly kept us very well through this pandemic has been the very high trust in us, healthcare authorities. That is one of the drivers of the very high vaccine acceptance in this country. And it's also one of the drivers of the very high acceptance in the population of the recommendations. When we introduced face masks, we had a very high compliance, not a lot of protest. I've been discussing this with colleagues in healthcare authorities around the world, also inside the World Health Organization, trying to share our experiences. It's not easy to build that high confidence in your society, but it's not impossible. That was one of the most difficult decisions I was part of during this whole pandemic. We communicated very openly, very transparently, and also very detailed to the population. Websites, memos, publications, press conferences, explaining exactly why we did what we did. And that enabled us to maintain a very high confidence in our vaccine rollout.
Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. President Duterte has threatened to stop government transactions with the Philippine Red Cross if it will not submit financial records for auditing. Duterte maintained that the Commission on Audit can check on the PRC because it has been receiving financial aid from the government. The COA, however, has already said that it does not have a jurisdiction over the PRC. The Commission on Elections holds a national synchronized mall registration today as it continues to push for more Filipinos to register for the 2022 elections. Select commercial establishments that Comelec partnered with will be open for those that have yet to register for the upcoming polls. There are just 19 days remaining before the September 30 voter registration deadline. And the Philippines and the United States have reaffirmed their commitment to further enhance their defense relations. The commitment was made in commemoration of the 70th anniversary of the Philippines-U.S. Mutual Defense Treaty. Both sides reaffirmed that the engagement is not just a fulfillment of obligations under the treaty, but a willing commitment to keep the alliance ironclad. Now, for more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now, www.signalplay.com, and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.
Hindi ako naka-register, hindi raw ako back on, malayong record ko.
Ibig sabihin, sabaw ng sinigang yung itinurok sa'yo.
Modus.
Baliktad pala.
Opo. Pates na
Sabaw.
pates daw, Tito On.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Ayan.
Sa iba pang balita, inumpisahan